So what I'd like to do is walk through filling out the application for heating assistance and weatherization. This form is online. We're going to fill it out online. However, if you do decide to go online and complete it, you're going to want to make sure that you are connected to a printer, because you will need to print it out to sign it. Plus, there are some other fields that you're going to have to write in by hand. There are hard copies of this application at our main offices you can pick up. But if you choose to do it online, just make sure that you're hooked up to a printer. You're not going to be able to save this document on your computer. So all this information at the top is pretty standard on the application, and you're going to want to make sure that you read that thoroughly and give us a call if you have any questions on this. Now, one of the main things you're going to want to look for is the month that you're filling this out. So let's say it's October when you're filling this out. That means you're going to have to verify employment and income for all people on this application, in other words, all members of your household, for 12 months back. So you're going to need to have income information going back 12 months. And don't confuse 12 months with a year. So in other words, if you are doing this in October, it doesn't mean you have to go just through January. You have to go back a full 12 months. And that's for everyone whose name is on the application. All income coming into your household has to be verified going that far back. As we page down here, there's some explanation of your rights. Be sure to read through that. Make sure you understand that part of it. And a very helpful part here is the checklist. And here you're going to want to refer to this as you're doing the application, and especially at the end, to make sure you have everything. Specifically, like it says here, make sure that all household members 16 or older, they're all going to have to sign, date, and put their social security number at the end of the application. You're going to need copies of your most recent home energy bills. You're going to need, again, that proof of income for everyone going back 12 months, copies of photo IDs, social security cards for people on here, and that's even people younger than 16. You're going to need a copy of their social security card. If they have a driver's license, that works as well. So as we page down here we get into the actual application. So a lot of this is pretty straightforward. So address where you're currently living, you're going to fill out that address as completely as possible. State, zip code, county. If you've lived at that address less than 12 months, you're going to want to list the date you moved in. Now, mailing address, typically this will probably be the same as your physical address, unless for some reason you get your mail at a different location, at a different address. Make sure you fill this out regardless, even if it is the exact same address that you see on the left. And again, home number, message, phone number. This is so we can contact you if there are any issues. Now we get into the part with household members. And again, you're going to want to list everyone who lives at your residence, regardless of their age. You're going to have to fill this out as completely as possible. So normally you're going to start with yourself. So this is pretty straightforward. Last name, first name, age, birth date, middle initial, social security number, alias if you happen to go by another name on some of your bills or some of your income. This is a way for us to check that. Now, household relationship, this is where it gets a little trickier. So if you look up here, this that I've just highlighted are the codes for relationship. So if you're filling it out and you're the head of the household, you put SE, spouse is SP, child CH, and so on and so forth. Be sure to fill that in so we understand the relationship with the person who lives in the home with you. Also down here, health insurance. These are some more codes that you need to be familiar with. So health insurance status, Medicaid, Medicare, whatever type of insurance that person is getting, you indicate it there. Also for education, you look at highest grade completed. You're going to want to make sure you have the right code for that. Also employment status, full-time, part-time. And then also, as you look at race status, and multiple selections are allowed on that part. You're going to need that for every member of your household. If you have more members than there are spaces on this form, you can add additional forms onto here to indicate those people. But you are going to need that information for every single person in your home, regardless of their age and their income. So as we scroll down here, you're going to see there are a lot of spots to fill that in. But again, if you need more, just making another copy of that form print it out or get another copy of it when you pick up your application, so you know you have enough room on there. So housing type, again, this is pretty straightforward. Type of house you live in, whether you're in an apartment, you're in a home, mobile home, number of bedrooms, whether you rent or own that home, and the lot that home sits on. That refers a little more to mobile homes. If you have a landlord, you need to provide contact information for that landlord, including phone number, and also you're going to want to make sure you check whether you're getting government rental assistance or whether your heating costs are included with your rent. In other words, if utilities are included with the rent, typically that covers heating. Now this part is also very important. This is your home energy information. We need to know how much you spend on your heating. So the primary vendor, what that means is that's where you get your heat from. So if you have electric heat in your home, this is normally going to be your electrical provider. If you have gas heat, it's going to be your gas provider, propane, wood, as you go on. Alternative heat source, people who have propane heat as their main heat may have electric as a backup if they're in a rural area in case they run out of propane during the winter time. So put that information in there too, and your account number. You're also going to need copies of your latest heating bills as well. You can get all that information off there, but those bills also have to be included along with your application. And as we scroll down here, again, just make sure you check whether you currently receive any sort of heating assistance and list that, and that's what you're going to have to print this out for. So again, you're going to also want to make sure you attach your latest bills. Now if you have someone who brings you propane or wood and maybe you don't have a typical bill, you are going to need some sort of letter from that provider indicating they've given you that service. Source of income. Now this is for all members of your household within the past 12 months. So you're going to have multiple things checked here. So let's say you earn wages, tips from a typical job. Maybe somebody else who's in your household gets unemployment. Maybe someone gets Social Security. Maybe you get some child support for a child. You're going to list the cases there. So all the different types in there. Now this is a section you're going to have to fill out by hand as well. So this is where you list the income of household members for the past 12 months. So the month of this application going back 12 months. And if you look at the example here, you're going to list the month. There's 12 slots there. You're going to list the year and then specify the amounts per person. So in this example, Joe got $650 from ABC Company. Jane got Social Security and child support. Each is listed separately, but the total is at the end. So you're going to need that for the past 12 months. And if you happen to miss a month or there's a month where you don't have income, you're going to need to explain your means of survival for that time when you did not have income. Here we have resources. So this is going to be whatever equity, whatever cash stores that you or members of your household have. You're going to fill this out very similar to the way you did it with the income. So if multiple people have checking accounts in your household, you're going to list the financial institution, the address, the date, and the amount that account was worth at that date. Understanding, of course, that your bank accounts are going to fluctuate while this application is being processed. That's why we have the date there. You're going to want to list the value as of the date you've listed here, and that's for everyone in your household. College status, if you have students, people attending classes in your house, list them there. If you have tribal members, if there's anyone in your house that has a physical condition that you want the people looking over this application to be aware of, you list it there. And if there are any other conditions, you can use an additional piece of paper to list that. Now we're getting towards the end here, but it's very important that you read all this. This is the authorization. This is explaining to you that the information you provided is truthful to the best of your knowledge, and at the very end is where you are going to sign. And this is where those members of your household who are 16 and over need to sign, date, and put their Social Security numbers as well. So once that is filled out, once you have all the appropriate people signing it, once you have your income verifications on there, once you have your heat bill attachments, you're ready to turn it in. And the way you do that is you look here at whatever county you reside in, which relates directly to where you're going to send it. So for example, Yellowstone County goes to District 7. So that's a pretty basic look at how to fill out the application. If you have any questions, you can go back and look at the office that you're reporting to, give them a call, and we'd be glad to help you out in any way we can.